Alright, welcome back guys on Live School, and today we are going to see the last part of the RC aircraft design series. Now in this part we are going to talk about the electronic sizing and selection. So first I need to elaborate these terms as electronic sizing and selection. So first of all, some of the things that we are going to select, and some of the things we first need to do sizing, like we need to select the size and we select the specification, and that's how we are going to size and select the components. So let's understand first the flow of selection and then go deep into the topic. So these are the steps for selection of electronics. So first of all, we need to select a propeller for our aircraft. Then after selection of propeller, we will go to the motor selection. Then propeller selection, we are going to select an electric APC props, which is going to be an electric prop. I'll let you know that how we're going to select it, how we're going to size it. So this is how we're going to do it. After that, motor sizing. And motor sizing, I'm typically talking about electric motor, electric BLDC motors. And here we are going to see a company like which is the Cobra company. I'm typically talking about the Cobra company, which is very famous in case of RC aircraft electric motor, BLDC motors. But there are many other companies as well. But this is the more trustworthy brand that I use. So I'm going to talk about that. Now, after that, we'll select a battery for our machine, depending upon our endurance, depending upon the current that we are going to consume, etc., etc. So this is how we are going to select our propeller, motor, battery, and after that we are going to select our ESC, that is our electronic speed control. Now the electronic speed control basically controls the RPM of your motor, so by varying the voltage across it. So it is a very important yet a small component in the series. So let's get to the matter quickly. Now first let's go with the prop. So the propeller, as you have you must have seen a propeller before coming here. So the propeller is characterized by two things, that is the pitch and the size. Right now we are talking about a general propeller which is of having two blade propeller. Again there are three blade, four blade propellers with a but their efficiency is much lesser than a two blade propeller. So we are right now not talking about a three blade or a four blade propeller. We are talking here about a two blade propeller. So the pitch and the size and how they are designated. If you see, there must be a carving on the prop which must look like this. So this designates the first digit designates the diameter of the prop. So diameter is connected to the size, and the pitch of the prop is connected to the, and this is the second number is connected to the pitch of the prop. Now to understand these things, both these things are mentioned in inches. So the diameter gives it size. So after finding out the size, we can actually characterize the prop, because if the size is big, the torque requirement will also be greater. So that means if the size is big, the torque requirement will be big. Similarly, the thrust produced will also be bigger. The thrust will also be bigger. So if the size is big, the torque required is big, thrust required is big, the RPM will be less. The RPM of the motor will be less. So if you can see that depending upon the size, if you want to see, now if the size increases, then the torque our requirement will increase, the thrust will also increase, the thrust given by the prop will also increase, but the RPM with which the prop is to be rotated is decreased. So the speed of the aircraft will be hampered, but the thrust acting on the aircraft will be increased for a given power. This is all for a given power. That is for a fixed battery. For fixed battery. Now let's see for if size decreases, prop size decreases, then torque requirement decreases. Let me draw it clearly. So when the size decreases, the torque requirement decreases, the thrust requirement, the thrust produced is also decreased, but the RPM is increased. The RPM can increase if we have to produce, we have to work under same power. Then RPM we can increase, but the thrust will decrease for the same RPM. So this is how we are going to operate a prop, and this is how we are going to size the prop. Now the RPM into the pitch of the prop. So let's just use another pen. RPM of the motor into pitch of the prop gives you the velocity of your plane. So RPM into the pitch gives you the velocity of your plane in particular units. So you need to check the units of which you are taking the pitch, and also the in which unit you are taking the RPM. So if you are taking RPM or RPS, then you can get the velocity in pitch per second, in pitch per minute. So that's how you are going to get the velocity. Now, so pitch is nothing but how much the aircraft goes in the direction of thrust in one revolution of prop. So you can see here I have image over here. So this is a screw with high pitch, which means that if you see the number of threads are less on this screw. So in one turn the screw will advance this much. In second turn it will advance this much. So the pitch of the screw is greater than pitch of this screw, because in one turn this screw will advance this much only. In second turn the screw will advance this much only. So this is how we are going to say that the pitch of the first one is higher than the pitch of the second one. So you can see the pitch is 8 and the pitch is 4. So that's how you can say that a high pitch prop is going to have more velocity than a low pitch prop, okay, for the same RPM. So this is about the prop. Now to select a prop, first you need to find out the typical things of thrust requirements, so which are as follows. So first, in order to select a prop, first find out the thrust by weight ratio from the constraint diagram that we have already found out in our case, which is 0.7 that we have used for the calculation. So I'll just show you that thing over here. So this was the constraint diagram that we have plotted, and we have selected our wing loading to be 60. So the 60 wing loading gives us the corresponding thrust by weight ratio for our takeoff, that is the maximum, to be 0.62. So 0.62, in order to consider for the things that we have not considered yet in our design, so just like a factor of safety, we are going to select a thrust to weight ratio of 0.7 for our aircraft. So we'll select a thrust by weight ratio of 0.7. After selecting of the thrust by weight ratio for a particular profile, so for cruising we require very low thrust by weight ratio, that is around 0.04, so we can neglect it. And for takeoff, we need a thrust pivot ratio of 0.7. So at the velocity of 11 meter per second, we require a thrust of 4, 2 into 0.7, that is equal to 1.4 kg thrust at 11 meter per second. So in order to cruise at around 15 meter per second, we need a thrust of around, for 15 meter per second, we need a thrust of around 100 grams. So it is quite normal. So like we don't even need to consider it while selecting the prop. Now we need to download the prop data for our APC props. So in order to download it, I'll show you the website as well, and I'll put the link in the description from where you can download the prop data, and I'll show you one example on how to analyze the prop data, and from the prop data how to select a motor. So now after downloading the prop chart, we have several files in that compressed file. So after extracting it, we'll see something like this. Now this W stands for wooden prop, this N I don't know, this E stands for electric prop. So we need to see a prop which will be having moderate thrust and moderate speed. So for that we need to select a prop which is of around size 13 to 12 to 13 12 to 13 inches of size, and we need to vary the pitch accordingly. So 13, I am selecting a 13 cross 10 prop. Now 13 cross 10 prop is looks like this, is looking like this. So I just short it. Now this V stands for miles per hour velocity. So at what velocity, what is the thrust? So you can see this is the static thrust at 0 velocity, that is the static thrust, and it also gives you the power requirement, the torque requirement, and the thrust requirement. So from the power and torque you can find out the RPM, then and you can check the thrust. So this is how we are going to so this is the prop RPM. Then at 1000 RPM, if the prop is rotating, then at velocity this much, that is the velocity of the plane, at 1000 RPM the static thrust is 0.09 pounds, that is lbf. We first need to convert the lbf unit into your own units and all the other things in your particular units, and after that you can size the prop. So you can just vary the RPM and see at what RPM your speed matches with the thrust. So from that you will prepare a table of satisfying props. So that is how the sizing is done, and the selection is done from the most optimum prop. Uh, so after selecting the prop, the next thing that we're going to do is the selection of the motor. So for motor selection, we need to see two things first, that is the RPM of the motor, that is written as a kV rating of the motor. So kV I need to mention it as, so for 1 volt how much the motor is going to give me the RPM. So as you can see in this picture, there is a 1400 kV motor, so which means that the motor is going to rotate at 1400 RPM when I'm going to connect it for a 1 volt battery. Now we need to check that if the motor is compatible with 6 volt battery, 11 volt battery, a 22 volt battery. So that's how we are going to see the maximum RPM of the motor. So this is how we are going to check whether the motor is compatible for our system or not. Now after this, the next thing that we are going to see is how to select a motor when you have selected a prop. So I know that I'm going to use a typical motor that is first of all completely tested, that is reliable, which has a good efficiency. So for that, I'll recommend a brand that is the Cobra Motors, which is I recommend you. But there are another motors such as Tiger Motor, then Turnigy. So typically these motors are calibrated, so I'm trusting on these brands. For that, uh, let's have a look at the Cobra Motors. So this is the site from where generally I order my Cobra motors, and in front of you there is one motor right now, that is the Cobra C2213 slash 18 brushless DC motor, and it is a kV rating of 1350. Now for this we need to check the propeller data chart. Now what does a propeller data chart gives you? So the first thing and the most important thing that gives you is the input voltage. The green colors gives you the safest, the yellow color is okay, but the pink one is a no use condition. So the APC prop of 9 into 7.5, that is 9 inches and 7.5 inches pitch. SF prop should not be used, that is the slow flyer. SF stands for slow flyer prop, should not be connected to this motor with an input voltage of 7.4 amps, 7.4 volts. So that's how it is going to be sized. After that, we need to check which prop is again good for it. Now this prop, the 10 inches and 10 inches size and 5 inches pitch prop is good for it at 7.4 voltage, that is a 2 cell battery. This is a 3 cell battery 11.1, then a 4 cell battery. So this motor is not compatible with 5 cell and 6 cell batteries. It is just compatible up to 4 cell batteries, and that too a 4 cell battery with a low sized prop. So this is how we are going to conclude that this motor can be used for a 6 cross 5.5 electric prop for a 4 cell battery. The ampere current that it requires is 13.92. Then watts it going to consume is 206 watt. Then the thrust produced will be 579. Now for this you need to select an optimal prop and an optimal motor, so that you can get your desired thrust at least current, and as well as at your decided battery. So this is how we're going to select a motor after fixing the prop. After selecting the motor, the next step that we are going to do is select our battery. So the battery selection is dependent on three things. First, the voltage, that is the number of cells. Then there comes the mAh rating. So basically that is the charge stored in the battery, mAh. Then the C rating. So C rating is the one which is related with the amount of current that the battery can burst. So how much current at a time the battery can discharge. So the voltage depends on the number of cells, that is a 3 cell, 2 cell, 4 cell, 5 cell, 6 cell battery. Then the mAh rating decides the how much time you can use the battery at a particular current rate. So if my mAh rating is 2200, if my mAh rating is 2200, which means that 2200 milliampere current, that milliampere current, that is 2.2 ampere current, will discharge the battery in 1 hour. 2.2 ampere current will discharge the battery in 2 hours. So by doing simple maths, we can say that we can calculate at our current consumption can discharge the battery in how much time. So this is how the mAh works, and the C rating is the one which decides that in how much burst you can your battery can give. So C rating is should be optimum because it should not be too much low. If it is too much low, then you won't be getting that much current which you require. So basically C rating into number of cells gives you the burst current. So C rating into number of current is equal to the burst current. So C rating is also known as the burst rating, burst current. So this is how you get the C rating. So after that, after calculating the current, you can calculate. You can just put equation, and you can say that how much current you're gonna consume for how much time, and you can calculate your endurance, as well as you can design the battery as per your endurance. Then the C rating should be checked so that you make sure that you have available with the that much current from the battery. So this is how all the three things work, and with this we are completed with our total series, and I am sure that you have guys liked it. And if you have still doubt, then DM me, catch me on Instagram, then you can also mail me. So thank you guys for watching the video, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the video as much as possible. Thank you.